Hello, hello, Luminary. February is knocking on the door. February arrives on Thursday, Jupiter Day, and the vibe is shaking up stuck energy, learning some self compassion, and absolutely understanding the way you are meant to give back to circular leadership.
Welcome to Star-Powered Astrology for Changemakers. I'm Leslie Tagorda, your guide, a Hawaii-born Filipino-Jewish astrologer who loves navigating visionaries like you through the spiritual journey of your work so that you can be inspired to lead by your chart and become the luminary leader you were born to be.
Hello, hello, friends. Oh my goodness. I am just super delighted that February is here and that February we get an extra day. I love that every 4 years we have this leap year, and I have some bias myself. February is my birthday month, and not only am I going to be celebrating all of February, but I'm going to be celebrating all year long because it's a milestone birthday, and you know what? I have earned it. So really celebrating that we have this extra day in what is generally a short month, because all of us are really feeling that energy to awaken to our collective healing. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that idea of awakening. Now, I know that the word woke woke itself is just such a trigger word, no matter which side of the political line you land on. But awaken is such a powerful word because we think of this idea to awaken, every morning, hopefully we awaken, we rouse from sleep, we rouse from stuckness. To awaken means to become aware of, to bring some consciousness and awareness of, but also to awaken is that we can help others awaken, to make aware of different wisdoms, different learnings, all of these things. To awaken, to rouse, to become aware of is to really bring so much consciousness and light. And absolutely in February, this is that energy. And I'm sure you're already feeling it because by the time I'm recording this on Monday, January 29th, Uranus, which was the last planet of our major planets, the last planet to shift out of reverse and to move forward. And so right now we have 0 retrograde planets until Mercury goes retrograde in April. So we have February and March to woohoo, move things forward. And I'm sure you've been feeling that kind of pulse as well. Like things have been kind of felt stuck or maybe on hold, that kind of like sleepy grogginess. If you haven't had a good night's sleep and your snooze button is going, well, now you're ready. The sun is in your eyes. This all of the fresh air is coming, and you're like, woohoo! Because cosmically, right, with all of those retrograde planets and just like Pluto sitting on that last degrees of 29 Capricorn. Now that that's all behind us, we are cosmically out of our place of hibernation and stillness. Now, just like if you've been sleeping for a while or you're getting to be of a certain age, when you wake up, you need to stretch, right? When you wake up that first thing, you might notice when your body that it feels tight. Maybe your hips are like a little cranky and you need to kind of wiggle and get them to slowly move to get energy back there. Or maybe you feel that ache of tightness in your hamstrings, especially if you sit down a lot all day. That is simply easily remedied by a little bit of a stretch, maybe a little downward dog, maybe a little calf rocker or a hip rocker, a little shake, and a little acknowledgement. Simply by bringing awareness to where is tight, we can easily remedy, wake those parts of our body up, wake those parts of our energy up. And so to intentionally and mindfully open up and warm up our body is to move energy into those places that have been so stagnant after this kind of long hibernation or sleep. And this is the truth. Now, you could overwrite this, which, if you don't have a good evening routine or a good morning routine, like I go and it's so easy to fall off the horse. No judgments if you don't. Okay. Because like I'll get into like a groove of things and I go, bam, I fall right off my morning routine because all of a sudden my son is up before me and then I have to like jump out of bed to get him to school, feed him breakfast, all of these things, right? So the truth is we could totally overwrite this little mindful act by, running off and like getting our kids prepared or checking your phone immediately, all of your inboxes and your DMs, or rushing out of bed to your work to check on who needs you instead of asking what you need for yourself first. And if you are overriding this kind of warm up and intentional awakening and stretch and shake up, then you're absolutely doing a great disservice to yourself. And that is the energy of February. Okay. So even though the cosmic, all of the major planets are moving direct and saying, okay, gotta go, the energy has changed. If we are not consciously first stepping through, waking up, taking that little short stretch. These stretches don't need to be like a whole hour or like an hour and a half of a meditation and yoga practice. Now, if that's you, awesome. I am not a person that has that much time to do that. I wish I was, maybe in the future, because there's so much to do and the winds have changed. So, first, this month, at least in the beginning of the month, is to awaken, to shake and stretch into your truth. Okay. Now, to shake, so many people, there's so many wise, wonderful people doing tapping and shaking to open up our nervous system, but you don't necessarily have to like shake really hard like a baby rattle. Sometimes it's simply touching a point in your body and it creates that neurotransmitter, that connection to that place of your body that needs to open up. And so, where do you metaphorically need to stretch and open up? Maybe you need to shake up your voice box a little bit to be able to speak up. Maybe you need to awaken your heart to be able to pull back your shoulder blades and lead from your heart, whatever that is, to stretch into your truth. Now, you may be asking, oh my gosh, Leslie, what is that truth? Well, that truth is that in that hibernation phase that we are in for that last, 3 or 4 months of not only like the Northern Hemisphere winter season, but all of kind of the retrogrades and like Pluto sitting on those last degrees and just like not really getting ready to move into the year. The truth is, in that time of stillness, your values and your needs have changed. Absolutely. What you desired before, what has worked before, all of those things no longer work for you. And maybe you are literally, not figuratively, literally sick of the grind, the push, and the hustle. Maybe your body has like, turned like things have like not been working so well, your digestion, your energy, your fatigue, whatever that is your body saying, hey, the way that we've been doing things is not okay. And if you don't consciously stretch into this February new truth and change your ways, let me just say, all truth here, you're going to remain in that dull ache and stuckness. And I do not want that for you. You do not have to stay there. It's some simple, mindful, conscientious changes that we can tap into, that the cosmos, the stars are fully supporting you now. Because when you stretch into that new truth, this is when you will truly awaken. Awaken to your needs, what you truly need. Like, oh, that hamstring is tight. Oh, that glute is like not activating. What are your gifts? Meaning you're not looking outside for like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. You already have gifts that you are born to contribute. You're going to awaken to your ability to create wholeness in yourself. You're not going to feel that kind of like, I'm missing something. I'm not complete. I'm just so, I'm chasing this idea of perfection. Forget that. And when we come to this place of knowing what your needs are, nourishing those needs, knowing what your gifts are, contributing your needs, giving yourself that self compassion and wholeness, this is how you can stretch so that you can contribute to the whole in a wonderful, one of a kind way. Now, in the stars, right? All of the stars are supporting us. All the planets right now are supporting us in this. So besides the moon, who like, whizzes through the zodiac every 28 days, and the South Node just kind of hanging out in Libra by itself. I know, I'm sorry, South Node, you're all by yourself in like the very connected place of Libra. Don't worry, don't worry. You're not going to be by yourself for long. We're getting rid of all of like those people pleasing ways and all the people that are not really our people, the people that we're chasing after. Thank you, South Node, for hanging out there and doing that work for us. All the other planets are all now concentrated into these little committees between Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus in February. Now, that Aquarius committee, and I'll go deeper into these things, just kind of giving you high level right now. That Aquarius committee, which is going to be changing, we have in the beginning of the month, we have the sun. Let me just look at the calendar here. We have the sun, we have Mercury, we have Mars, we have Venus, of course, Pluto, all in Aquarius. That Aquarian committee, right? I love Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius here. February 14th is my birthday. The Aquarius committee wants you to empower your social values and see your one of a kind superpowers so you can contribute this to humanity and the collective. This is people power with Aquarius. So the Aquarius committee is like boom, 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 social values, people power. Yes, yes, yes. And then the Pisces committee that is going to be taking the star role towards the end of February, that Pisces committee really wants you to make things easier on yourself and deepen into your self-compassion and mastery of your inner wisdom, really being able to trust yourself, trust your intuition, giving yourself the kind of compassion and empathy and kindness that you give your most loved ones, sharing that with yourself, and then trusting your body when things to make things easier. That's I'll share a little bit about my practice because that's definitely one of the things I'm like, okay, how can I learn from trust my body when I'm pushing, when I'm hustling versus when I'm just allowing myself, not necessarily just to coast and float like I'm just going every which way, but choosing the easier path, because choosing the easier path is always what your highest self wants you to know. Your higher self, whatever you may call them, always knows the way. So that Pisces committee is going to be like, okay, how are we making things easier on ourselves? And so it's just a side note, right? I might have mentioned a couple of times that my word of the year is light. And light meaning I feel light, I am radiant, sharing light. I'm choosing things that feel like a light lift. I tend to be kind of an anxious person, although people don't know that about me. I feel the anxiety when I'm trying to do more and buy more and have more, like, and I'm calling Jeff with this idea and that idea. I'm like, we have to do all these things, and I get really really tight. And even in my clarinet playing, or even in the way that I am writing or doing things in my business, I'm starting to really learn when my body is going and just really feeling that squeeze. That is the not light way for me to do those things. That's my inner wisdom of my body saying, Leslie, you're doing too much. This is not the light and bright and masterful way that you're supposed to be doing things. And so this Pisces energy, I'm really learning to trust in my body, to let my lightness of my body lead the way when things feel easy. And so that might just be like an easy thing for you also to notice when you're feeling like you're overdoing and struggling and chasing things. We're letting go of that. And Taurus committee is going to remind you of that. But we also have the Aries committee. Now, this Aries committee is just made up of two right now. It's the North Node and Chiron, and both of those are meeting up in February 19th to be exact. And to me, this is like one of the aspects of the entire year that I am really, really looking forward to, because the Aries committee, similar to that Aquarius committee, Aries and Aquarius, they're both innovators, they're both kind of change makers, they're both risk takers, they're independent and highly like just want to go their own way. I love that Aries Aquarius energy. The Aries committee of Chiron and North Node wants you to take action, but not any old action. This is action based on your soul's purpose, North Node, because you have been doing your healing. we're never done with our healing. Okay. This is a healing journey, but you've done your healing. You're not finished because it's not meant to be finished. And that healing journey that you've been on, that is your gift. That is your expertise, your mastery, what you're meant to share and contribute through your leadership. This is how we are changing the faces of leadership, by acknowledging that we are all on a healing journey, and all of those tools and those skill sets and the wisdom that you learned on your healing journey to answer your big Chiron question is what we are meant to contribute into this idea of circular leadership, where we all have been answering our greatest questions of Chiron in Aries right now. Is it safe to be? Absolutely. You are. That's what Aries says. I am. You are. And so Chiron and North Node meeting up in Aries is asking all of us to contribute into our leadership. And taking risks on being exactly who we are through everything that we've learned on our healing journey. This is truly I've been listening to Brene Brown's The Dare to Lead book. This is a dare to lead time, but not only dare to lead as, somebody that you're trying to be, but dare to lead as exactly you, because you've been doing your work. There's no one like you, and only you can do what you do. So Aries in Chiron, bringing all of this back into changing the faces of leadership. And to change the face of leadership, that means that your face, your face that is like nobody else's, your identity that is like nobody else's, has to do it in your way to dare to lead. And then lastly, we have that Taurus committee. That Taurus committee, so far, there's just Jupiter and Uranus. They're getting closer and closer and closer when they meet up in April. Well, anyway, this Taurus committee wants you to savor, wants you to take your time for Uranus as a radical act, a disruptive act, taking your time and savoring, reminding you there is no push, there is no try, there is no chase. What there is, what you can let yourself be and bring awareness is that you can let yourself be pulled, be called to create and to attract. Yes, there's effort. I'm not saying there isn't effort, but there is a difference between trying and just being. Okay, my friends. So I just love the concentration of the committees in February. And this is all for us. So some highlights of this month, right? Again, 0 retrograde planets. Uranus went direct earlier, just a couple of days ago on the 26th of January. We have Mercury entering Aquarius on February 4th. Mercury in Aquarius, just really fast thinking, electric thinking, disruptive thinking, radical thinking, new ideas, fresh thoughts. Super excited about Mercury entering Aquarius. Just a new way, new thoughts, zingy ideas. Love it. When you get if you're on my newsletter, you'll get the Biz StarCast, and you can read all about that Mercury enters Aquarius. Then we have our new moon at Aquarius of 20 degrees on February 9th. And this is, again, just a concentration of energies of this beautiful new moon. I'll be doing an entire episode of that Aquarius new moon. But Aquarius new moon is your chance it's a new cycle where you get to plant the seeds of your Aquarius vision, ideals, the desires for the future, your social values, your hopes, your dreams, your friends, your networks, and your communities of people, all a fresh intention on February 9th. And then on February 10th, because after the Aquarius new moon, we always have the Lunar New Year. On February 10th, we open up to the Lunar New Year, the year of the dragon. The dragon, one of the most powerful animals, I guess you could call it, creatures in the Chinese and the Asian zodiacs. It is a fire energy. I don't think this is a fire dragon. I think it might be a wood dragon. I'm not sure. don't take don't take those facts on me. But dragon, of course, is kind of like a fire animal, also kind of a water animal. So anyway, I just love the dragon energy. I'm a tiger myself, so tigers, dragons, horses. We're like, yes, let's go get it. Anyway, so Lunar New Year on February 10th. Then next we have Mars entering Aquarius. Mars and Venus are moving really, really fast. So Mars enters Aquarius on February 12th. Then Venus follows suit on February 16th. My birthday right in between those two. So I'm feeling really that Aquarius push right now. Not push, the Aquarius calling. That rising into that floating into. And so remember, with all of these planets, and if you have those Aquarius energies natally, whatever planet that is, remember that Mars is that planetary process to activate and energize. So Mars is activating that Aquarius ideals and that vision, that humanitarian vision for the future. And then Venus is the energy to connect and attract. And so when Venus is in Aquarius, oh my gosh, Venus loves being, Venus is a very people person. Maybe it's not going to get totally attached on it's very intimate, but it likes to know. It wants to know all the things. It wants to be an early adopter, and it loves connecting. Venus, she loves connecting with others who have that kind of early adopter feel, very innovators, okay? Then we have on the 18th, the sun enters Pisces, where the sun kind of takes all of that electric energy and goes, ah. It almost feels like a rest, but it also almost feels like kind of a cold plunge a little bit. And cold plunges are actually really, really, really good for our bodies. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a health professional. And if your body can handle it, those cold plunges really activate the sense, activate your skin, activate your immune system, activates all of your blood vessels and your heart. And so those cold plunges, I do like to do those cold plunges. I just like when I go from a hot pool to a cold pool, my skin feels like electric. And so the sun entering Pisces kind of has that sizzle, and then it relaxes, and into that unity it blends forth, of course, as Pisces does. Okay, moving on to February 19th, and then I'm going to talk about some of these weeks. So, and don't worry about these dates. If you have my calendar, if you're on my newsletter, you'll have all these dates written. So, Chiron and the North Node meet up at Aries of 16 degrees on February 19th. Again, this is like a new cycle of changing the faces of leadership. We are going to see so many more diverse faces in leadership globally. This is also a year of so many elections. Individually, right, it's really hard, it's super easy to feel overpowered by just all of the things that we have no power to in the world. But individually, what can we do individually? This is how we create movements, by doing the change within ourselves. And so that Chiron North Node meet up in Aries, again, I'll give a fuller episode, but this is really your call to stand into your own leadership and dare to lead. Thank you, Brene Brown, for those words. Then on February 22nd, Mercury joins in with the sun in Pisces. Of course, Saturn and Neptune are already in Pisces. So now we have that Pisces committee, that Pisces party that's starting up, shoring up. Mercury and Pisces, sometimes it's better at communicating through art and poetry and imagination more so than, facts and details. Although Mercury and Pisces, because it's opposite of Virgo, it can get into some details when it needs to be. I personally have that Mercury and Pisces at the tippy top of my chart, and I've really learned how to use that with getting more precise, more clear. It's been a learning process, but I've gotten there sometimes. Okay, so Aquarius party is going to highlight, especially around the new moon between February 8th and 10th, when the moon is in Aquarius. And then it's really going to come to a head when Venus, Mars, and Pluto get really, really near each other. That is on February, peaking right around February 21st is where things are going to really peak for that Aquarius party. Then the Pisces party is going to peak right around right around the 28th, February 28th, when Mercury, Saturn, and the Sun all are conjunct. That's going to be a big day. So definitely mark your calendar for that, the February 21st for the Pisces party, for the Aquarius party, and then February 28th for that Pisces party. Full moon in Virgo on February 24th. Now, full moon in Virgo tend to be kind of hypercritical, and this one, with all that Pisces energy, we're really shining the light on self-compassion, empathy, and bliss. So I'll be talking more about that full moon as we get closer as well. And then, of course, February 29th, our leap year day, our extra calendar day. Now we have 366 days in 2024. Of course, you know that every 4 years when we have that leap year, it is simply a course correction, a calendar correction, because in the Gregorian calendar, we're not following the moon, we're not really following the sun, we're following timetables of exactness so that we can always have things delivered and trains on time and planes on time. And so every 4 years, we have to calendar correct by adding an extra day, because the sun doesn't revolve around the earth exactly every 365 days. So we get that course correction, leap year, celebrate that extra day. Okay, so you can see that this month is our month to really stretch into and shake up all of that stuck energy, to bring awareness to how our values have changed and how we now want to do things. And this is our wake up call that each one of us is here to lead. We were born to lead. You are born to lead in your own unique way. Your Chiron wounds is a giant key into your success and how you're meant to contribute to the collective. And we're opening up this new era of collective circular leadership, where leadership isn't top down, but it is circular, where each one of us is contributing our gifts. But as Pluto goes through Aquarius over the next 20 years, that Pluto is really going to up level and evolve what it means to be a true democracy that serves all of its people, a true democracy where individuals are contributing and participating in democracy, from going to community events, to planting a garden, to the bare minimum of getting out to vote. This is how we can individually make change into our larger communities for all of society. So this is your call. Now, if you've been curious about, like, well, I don't know what my gifts are, I'm still feeling disconnected, or maybe I'm still dismissing or not validating my gifts, this is your time. I am offering Written in the Stars and Star Powered Position, my foundational trainings. I'm going new and improved. I'm going to be delivering them live, not in person, live online. I wish it was going to be in person. I would love to see you in person. Written in the Stars, my foundational training about how you can read your natal chart for both life, leadership, and branding, is going to be from February 26th through March 1st. So 5 straight days, all in 1 week. February 26th to March 1st, we are going to be learning how to read your natal chart. Even if you already know how to read your natal chart, you're going to be learning how I look at the planets and the different archetypes from a leadership and branding point of view. So this is like foundational, like 101. How do you read a natal chart and how do you interpret it in this way? Then, if you want to take a deeper dive with me and really get to the foundation and core of your brand and your leadership so that you can make your mark, we're going to be deep diving into your sun, moon, rising, and descendant, so that we can figure out the what you do, your superpowers like nobody else can do, the why you do it, why your leadership and your business, and how we can bring that turn that into conscious why, so that your business and your leadership can actually nourish you instead of drain you. Yeah, that why is really important. And then how. How are you meant to lead? How are you meant to present? How are you meant to initiate and take steps forward through your rising sign? And then, of course, who are you meant to serve? Who are they at an archetypal level, and what do they need of you, and how are they going to notice you? And so I call that your position, your star powered position. And that is the foundation of a memorable brand. So if you are really feeling this call and you're like, I can feel that energy of February wanting to awaken all of these parts of me, well, this is your turn to study with me in my one of a kind Astro Brand way with my Written in the Stars, that's 101, and then Star Powered Position, a 4-week intensive. So if this is interesting to you, head on over to starpowered.com/written in the stars. All one word, all lowercase. starpowered.com/written in the stars. So if anything that I've said about February's StarCast, Business StarCast, if anything speaks to you, you know that this is your calling. I hope to see you there. All right, my friends, more next week when I'll be talking about the new moon in Aquarius. So stay tuned on social media. I'm going to be having a lot of information about this upcoming new moon and some options for you. All right, my friends, talk to you soon. Bye. As a human design projector, my energy shines more brightly because of people like you who share my work. If you enjoy this podcast and want to help build a movement of innovative astrology and leadership and spark the intuitive revolution, please rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, or better yet, share this podcast with your change-making besties. We will all shine brighter together as we create the future we want to see.